Nah, I'm a sponge right now. Honestly.
No, it's cool, man. If just
You know what? Actually, I do have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I think about the Bay Area, I think about when the Vans song came out.
Oh, the Pack.
Yo, the Pack was like my first. Yo, honestly, the Pack is the reason why I started
wearing
rap.
Vans. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Facts. I started. It was ninth grade, bro. I started writing like.
This is Less Than Zero. Less Than Zero.
All right, cool. We got Justo behind the lens, my guy Niall. We got a special guest today. Welcome to the Less Than Zero podcast. Of course, 4th of July edition. By the time you watch this, it'll be past that. But hey, happy 4th of July anyway, man. What we got coming up on the show, we're going to talk about Kanye. He dropped this news, which is... we'll get into it, man. Apparently, he's running for president. We're going to talk 4th of July, the story out of Alabama, August Alsina, the Jada Pinkett open relationship controversy. And yeah, man, without further ado, been really excited to talk to this dude. When I first wanted to start this podcast, it was about I wanted to discuss things that I truly cared about, but also just talk to people that I thought were just really dope. And with that said, got a special guest, born and bred here in the Bay. We got Keezy TV in the building, man.
What's up, everybody? What's going on?
Yeah.
Yo, how should I was thinking to myself, what should I call you? Because you're like a lot of things. You're a content creator, you're a super dope rollerblader, sneakerhead, streetwear, influencer. Like, what would you call yourself? All those things, or?
I content creators sounds more like it, yeah. I mean, the skating content, that's a really old stuff. I just figured I'd just show that to y'all, but yeah.
Yeah, I really gravitated to this because when I first, the reason I got into like streetwear originally was because I was a skater back in the 90s, part of that whole like Bones Brigade thing, and I followed Mike, I don't even know people know who these people are, but like Tony Hawk and Mike Vallely and these skaters, and it was like very...
It was like pre-Tony Hawk days. The video game, yeah.
Yeah, just the rebelliousness of it all, uniqueness, and to me, streetwear was just kind of like an extension of that.
Facts.
Yeah, man, share your story, bro. Like, I would just love to learn how you got into this, why.
Like YouTube specifically, I guess?
Just in general. You know, your passion for collecting, your passion for reviewing, just everything.
Yeah. Got into clothes like everybody else, middle school, high school. It was the days of, basically calling each other out and seeing who has the better fit.
Yeah.
Then you get into that. Then you get introduced to brands like Echo. I mean, that was way back in middle school, right? Echo. And then you had, there was like Jenko jeans. I know
Jenko.
Yeah. And then it evolved, right? Then the whole Nike Talk thing happened. What was that? Somewhere around the early 2000s. And then the whole Hyphy movement shit happened. And when Hyphy happened, everybody was wearing the same shit, right? Everyone had big old tall tees that you bought at a liquor store, like the baggy pants, Air Force Ones, Babesters, all that kind of stuff. And that's what got me into it. And I was like, wow, I really like clothes, but that wasn't streetwear back then. That was urban wear. The term streetwear was only coined like 4 years ago, maybe, right?
For people that don't know, like, how would you define streetwear? For someone that's just watching this for the first time and they're not like niche, like they're not really super expert on this.
The super layman's term of streetwear is casual wear, which is very broad, but streetwear is a combination of Japanese street fashion, Americana, skateboarding, black culture, hip hop, and grunge, and there's one more, punk, all combined into one. Sounds wild, but but that's exactly what it is. And now it's so separated where streetwear is such a broad term. Now you have 15, 16 categories within streetwear. It's like you're at a different type of streetwear. You might not know it, right? Or someone else, or someone like myself, I'm into a particular brand that now puts me in a different category, right? But it's still under the umbrella of streetwear at the end of the day.
What would that be if you had to play if we're gonna play those categories? Yeah.
Like starter kit, I'm a collector, I guess. Yeah.
Mainly Japanese though?
I'm a collector of shit that happened in the 2000s. Like I'm way more in tune with like wanting those items from back then. Yeah. That era from like 2000, yeah, just the 2000s all the way up to 2010. Like a lot of the items from those, but not necessarily like the hype stuff that everyone loves, but like even just like the hyphy, that look of like the colorful pants, the colorful hats, and all that kind of stuff. I like to buy. I don't wear it. I buy it and I own it. I'm like, this is really cool. It's nostalgic. So yeah, that's really nice.
I think I'm kind of the same way, man. Like I mess with stuff that I'll buy like regular things. I like to support a lot of like local stores from cities I've lived in. So, for example, Bay Area, I think there's like Stashed, and there's a couple other stores. Oakland.
Stash is nice.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah, I caught on to them late, but they're really nice.
Yeah. And then some Chicago stores and things like that. But for me, it's about emotional connection. So like, if I grew up on, Smurfs and Garfield and stuff like that, and I see like KITH doing a drop on that, I just,
automatic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Rocky. Now some releases are better than others.
Yeah.
But automatically you're gonna get my attention.
Right.
So I think that's kind of what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the magic potion, right, for streetwear. It's like, oh, here's this brand, Grailed SF, or Bait SF, right? And then it's like, oh, Naruto, you like both. We're gonna do something. You're gonna buy it. Right?
Niall, I know like your streetwear thing, but I mean, like you understand the whole fashion game. It's not your like expertise, but
yeah, just a little bit. I watched a few of your videos, so it was pretty cool because I don't know like labels or like the origins of it, but I'm pretty into hip hop and I know how hip hop's influenced
damn near all of it.
Damn near all of it. And so I think it's cool. I mean, I definitely want to get more into fashion. I think just growing up or even now, I just know that it might be like an investment. So, but watching, I like one of your videos you talked about kind of like I can't remember the specific one where you can kind of, I think it was the mech one, the tech wear.
Tech wear.
You kind of brought the tech wear where you're like, you kind of broke down.
Right here on the screen. It's hilarious. Yo, can you break that down real quick, Keezy? Because this dude be on his, I'm not putting it out there. I just love it. I like how you put out a disclaimer in your videos. You're like, yo, I'm not trying to offend anyone. I just, just putting out there, this is strictly my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I love that.
Starter kits. So just whoever doesn't know what a starter kit is, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, but starter kits for clothing, it's like the funniest thing because within clothing, we always like to talk about each other, right? And sometimes you can pin people in a corner and be like, no, dude, you like these 7 things. That's totally you, right?
Right.
So so I did the techwear fit. The techwear fit is like, the techwear fit, they look like those, I explained in the video, they look like those guys that pick up money from the banks or inside of the safes at your job.
Right.
What is those people called? Something,
I mean, I
know
just
the
think
name.
about Brinks
You've seen
trucks.
them, the Brinks trucks, yeah, they look like
They have
Brinks.
hella pockets, right?
Yeah.
Hella pockets, they got a gun.
I just think about like the Hong Kong protesters too. The Hong Kong protesters.
Yeah, they look like that too.
Yeah.
They look like they're gonna be in like World War III or something. I don't even know, like some modern day like assassin.
So maybe I'm the fool here, but I see those people all the time. What's the point of someone wearing, like, unless it's part of your job, your occupation, why would someone want to wear something with so much technical, like so many pockets in them, including the gun holster, the 5 different pockets within the pants? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Either they really use the pockets, which I don't think they do.
No.
I don't think they do.
No
But,
way.
people just get into certain things, right? Why do people buy like super colorful sneakers? Because you like colorful sneakers, right?
That's true.
So some people just, they get so obsessed with it, and like, it's like taking a hot bath, right? You first put your foot in, you're like, oh shit, it's hot, and then like 15 minutes later, you're fully submerged in the water. You're like, this is nothing.
Right.
So now you're walking down the street with 20,000 pockets on, and it's like,
speaking back to hip hop, I know you're in that space. I know you follow it a lot. It's kind of interesting how, I mean, just like you said, hip hop kind of put this whole fashion game on point. I always wondered, and this might be, I'll just ask anyway, how important do you think fashion is to hip hop as far as like hip hop artist success? Is that a weird question? But do you get what I'm saying? Can you imagine, like, if an artist, can you imagine if Drake or Ye or someone wasn't, they weren't just that dope fashion-wise? Do you think that would play a part in their success? Or maybe a detriment? Do you get what I'm saying? Because to me, it's like the music, and then also image is also strong. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but part of it is like hip-hop artists, they wear the jewelry, they wear the dope clothes, blah, blah, blah. Part of them is to flex, right? Because they have an opportunity to flex because they never had it in the beginning.
Yeah.
Facts or no?
You can go first.
I got to answer. I definitely got to answer for this.
Let's go.
I don't look to Drake for any fashion advice, period. End of discussion. Never will, probably never have. I think all of his sneakers were a flop. And,
Yeah, sneakers?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Jordans.
Yes, dude.
Oh, that's right.
All the OVOs were a flop. I'm sorry if I offended anybody.
I have a pair. I'm embarrassed now.
Well, in terms of being hyped, and I mean, it's Drake. He's the biggest superstar.
I'm doing it for resale, so it's an entirely different thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, anyways, I mean, they fucked him over too. So I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on here, but they fucked him over on the those Jordan 4s too. But anyways, I mean, he's the biggest. He's the biggest household. He's like a freaking Michael Jackson.
Mhm.
I'm not looking to him for clothing advice.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
he buys a lot of expensive shit. But yeah,
Are there any artists that have kind of influenced like your whole like thought process
absolutely,
besides Kanye?
absolutely.
All right,
Yeah.
let's hear it.
I mean, I listen to a lot of Bay Area rap. I don't know if you.
Yeah.
Or you
I'm still
Well,
new.
Yeah.
I'm still
Okay.
new.
He did this documentary. I'll put the links down below. It is it is your storytelling, and I'm not just saying this. It's incredible. The documentary he did
Thank
on the
you.
Bay Area Hyphy movement is fucking awesome.
Word.
It's awesome, bro.
I'll definitely watch that.
Yeah, it's
For real.
really knowledgeable, and I love it. I love the fact that it's not 10 million hours long. It's very easy to absorb. Mhm.
Word. Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't say a lot. What he says is really important, but he doesn't say a lot.
In the Hyphy movement, what year did that start? Actually,
That's a good question.
because I just remember like,
the peak. Oh,
Right.
Go ahead.
well, I was thinking about high school, right?
Yeah.
I think like my senior year, which would have been 2010
Yeah.
in high school.
You heard about it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard about. I'm in Arizona, right? So
Yeah.
I just think about. Tell me when to go. Like,
Yeah.
I just think about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Tell me when to go was the peak.
okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
It started probably 2003,
Oh, wow.
maybe.
okay, wow.
I don't know when the word exactly was invented. Keek invented the word.
Okay.
But he invented damn near every word.
There's roots to it even in the early 90s or the 80s.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it for sure, like the commercialization of hyphy doesn't necessarily. The origination of the word hyphy is not actually like sunglasses, ghostwriting,
Stunning
baggy
shades.
clothes, and hyphy music and dancing. That's not really the root essence of hyphy. Was actually, it's like, let's just say you're in the hood, I guess, and your friend gets in the car and it's like, man, get out of my car. You too hyphy right now. I mean, you got a gun on you. This is not like, get out of my car. Like you too active right now.
That's originally what
That's
it meant.
hyphy.
Right.
That's like Oakland's version of this is hyphy, right? But hyphy, the word ended up getting spun, and it got commercialized after, either KITH and then, Mac Dre. And then Mac Dre passed. And then everyone, all of a sudden, because before Mac Dre passed, nobody was on Mac Dre's wave besides people that were with Mac Dre, right? And
Really?
then once he passed, everyone's like, oh, let's like, oh, we ghost riding the whip, we wearing 7 hats, like. We're wearing all these big old T-shirts, this and that, and then you don't find that out till years later, and it's like, wait a minute, like these people didn't.
They didn't know about him when he was alive.
Nah, they weren't. I mean, it's the Bay. Everybody in the Bay, all rappers from the Bay don't really get along. They
Yeah.
never really did.
I've heard that.
Yeah, the Frisco rappers is with the, if Oakland's with Oakland, like it's not as connected as you might think, right? But hold on, Thiz Entertainment did really bring the Bay together as a whole. There was a lot of positive out of it. I mean, I'm kind of talking it in a negative light, but it's
That's
actually a very positive thing,
So if you don't mind me asking, why when I first moved here, this is like 5 years ago, I'd heard that I guess for lack of a better word, separatism. Why is that?
From the Bay.
Yeah, because every city has its own culture. Chicago, drill, they have their own culture, their own vibe. Why do you think that is? Because I did hear that.
I don't know what it is.
The separatism.
I don't know. I mean, I think it depends on situational, and then also it depends on the artist. But there are cases where a lot of artists do, mess with each other, right? But I don't know what it is. But the Bay is more entrepreneurial than other cities, right? But LA, Atlanta, and New York, they really help each other.
Collab.
Right, look at the whole slime thing going on with Young Thug and all that. Like they all build each other up. They're like, oh, Lil Baby's next. Okay, you next. Okay, Gunna's next. Okay, we're working on your shit next.
Yeah.
Right, and the Bay is like everyone's like everyone's like the Spider-Man meme. Right, they're all pointing fingers at each other. Like, wait, like no, I'm doing my shit first, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just the culture of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Niall, what you think? Any questions?
Man, I mean, well, I think it might be just kind of part of human nature on some level. I mean, I just think about like tribalism, right? And of course, a lot of these, rappers might be associated with gangs. So,
Yeah, that too.
that kind
Yeah.
of mentality of like, hey, this is our set. That rapper's over there on his set, so we ain't gonna rock with him, even though we're in the same city. It's kind of like the crabs in the barrel bucket. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. Yeah, that can honestly be like a 2-hour conversation on its own.
Yeah, that's almost a whole new podcast. But like the Bay is, we're not an entertainment city.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
LA is that's why a lot of people from the 2000s. You guys remember? What is his name? There was a rapper. There was many rappers that ended up they popped off in the Bay and they moved to LA.
Oh yeah.
There's so many of them.
Yeah.
Well,
So
wait,
many
are
of
we
them.
talking about like in the past or current?
Actually, past and current.
Because Pilo. Are you talking about Pilo?
Yeah, did he move to
Yes.
LA? Yeah, so there you go. I mean, it makes more sense as an entertainment city. It's like you want to be famous.
Yeah.
You want to do anything in entertainment. You go to LA. You don't come here. You come here for tech,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Not
that's
tech wear.
true.
But
Well, tech
either-
wear and
yeah,
tech.
you do both.
It's
You can
either
wear your
LA,
pockets.
Atlanta, or New York. Like all those other rappers. I mean, even
Yeah.
Chance, he blew up in Chicago, but he
yeah.
moved to LA. I think he might have moved back to Chicago.
Yeah.
But I mean, he definitely made moves in LA, or they
Yeah.
have a place in Atlanta, or they have a place in Chicago and a place in LA, and they do most of the work in LA because
Yeah, facts.
that's what it's the entertainment industry in LA for sure.
Now, not to talk on Chance too much, but going back to what you were saying with like, helping each other and things along those lines, Chance started doing ciphers and started doing like freestyles at streetwear shops like Juggernaut, Leaders 1354. I know these because I saw it. Whereas here, and maybe again, put me on, but I don't know if I see that, right? Like you don't see like, there's a lot of stores here, bro. I've never lived in a city where there's so many freaking stores. I can name probably 10 retail stores right now. Can you imagine? Maybe they do it now. I don't know, but can you imagine if they open their doors every week and encourage exactly what we're talking about, putting artists on. That's what I'm talking about.
For hip hop artists, you mean,
Well,
or just
Yeah,
Just
we
any-
have one spot in the Bay
Where?
for that. It's called the Grill. I think there were actually like one or two, or I don't know. But the Grill is where legendary songs have gone down in Oakland. It's really close to downtown. I think it's West Oakland. But the
they still
Grill,
do it?
yeah, it's still there. You still see a lot of OG artists come through there. I've been there a couple times. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
to watch or perform.
Yeah, watch. Yeah, I'm not an artist or anything like that, but it's
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
to go and see the studio and like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of artistry, man, you're dude, your content's incredible, man. It really is.
Thank you.
Check it out in the links for sure. You're for people that don't know, you were in the sneakers ad. That's how you and I originally met in the Nike sneakers campaign. And then
But before that,
yeah, I know your sister.
Yeah.
MC'd your sister's wedding. I thought it was super dope. One thing that stuck out to me is like for me, look, I just call myself a high level consumer. My mom was a fashion designer, just to let you know back why I got into this. So for me, shoes was always Andre Agassi was the main reason why I got into shoes.
Yeah.
I started playing tennis, and Andre Agassi was my hero.
Yeah.
He was like back in the day in tennis, he was like the rebel. You know what I mean? He really
Yeah.
stood out with the bright colors, the long hair, the Air Tex, and the Air Tech was the first shoe that I got, right?
Uh-huh.
And then just me wanting to, just build from that is why I got into it, right? So when I noticed in the Secrets campaign is you wore shoes, I actually had to look the shoes up.
the ACWs.
Yeah, he wasn't wearing like I was rocking the
Yeah.
top threes because I wanted to flex. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone's wearing like Heat. You know what I mean? Or what's considered Heat to this day.
Yeah.
You're wearing Heat, but a shoe that I actually I wasn't familiar with. The Nike the Cold Wall Zoom.
Yeah, Cold Wall. The Zoom Vomero 5s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
talk to me about the decision on that shoe where you could have probably worn countless others, right? And just like your decision making when it comes to like fashion these days. Like
Yeah.
what makes you want to mess with a certain brand?
Yeah. So that shoe specifically, when they called me, I damn near sold all my Nikes. So I was like, well, that wasn't my last one, but I had a bunch of Jordan 1s left. And I was like, well, I think everybody's probably going to either wear 1s, 4s, or like, I don't know,
He was right about
7,
that.
8s, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, man, like, I like that that Zoom Vomero is actually kind of an ugly shoe, if you ask me. But I liked it because it was kind of ugly. If you ever like something, you're like, this
You
should
wanna,
kind of
put it
go,
on?
but it's ugly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, for sure. For
Like
sure.
it was that shoe in the beginning, and then I ended up buying into it, and then it's kind of like an artsy fartsy concept to it, where basically the back heel, you've seen that little tab on the back, right?
Yeah.
The tab is meant to age over time, and it's supposed to change color. And it's supposed to like represent something, and you know how sneaker people do, like they put these stories to them. So I thought it was pretty interesting, and I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool shoe, and then I ended up wearing it at the thing. So yeah, that's how I chose that. But what was the other question?
No, just streetwear brands or fashion brands. What are you into, and what makes you like when you want to mess with a brand? What are you looking for as far as like traits?
The narrative.
The story behind it.
Yeah. It can
Okay.
almost be a shitty product, but if the narrative is good, I'll buy it.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Well, a good example is the whole Pyrex thing that went on. You know?
I do know Pyrex. I know
okay.
Virgil Abloh. He owns part of I'll just tell you real quick. He owns part of RSVP. RSVP is a store in Chicago. It's Damon, off Damon. It's hella expensive.
Right.
And yeah, I got my thoughts on Pyrex, but go ahead.
Yeah. So Pyrex is not a great product. It's printed on Champion hoodies. Right. Champion. You get roasted for wearing Champion back in middle school.
Facts.
Right? You pull up a Champion, they'd be like, dog, what did your mom bought you this?
That's facts. I had Champion socks, bro.
You know, okay, so you had to hide them, though.
That's true.
See,
That's
you
true.
put the little Champion little embroidery is like, it's game over, you know? But it's I like the narrative of it. It was like, it was Virgil. It was, he took the concept of Pyrex. I mean, it is the root essence of streetwear. He screen printed the word Pyrex 23. Pyrex 23, the meaning behind it was that, you know, people cook crack in Pyrex pots, right? It was a drug background. It was a D-boy background, right? And he spun that, and he was like, well, why can't we put this on to hoodies, right? And then, you know, there's more to it, but that was one concept. I still like Pyrex. Would I pay $500 for a hoodie? No. Or would I pay a little under that? Yeah, maybe. a little bit.
No, I appreciate the context, man.
Yeah.
I know you're a big Babesta fan. Your channel's insane.
There was you know, talking about story. One video I saw, you talked about. Damn, I forgot his name, but I think the kid maybe he's from the UK. He's black. He's super young. I think he's
Nigel Sylvester. Sorry.
I don't know.
Oh no, he's not from the UK. Sorry.
But
I was like, well, he's from Europe.
Yeah, you're right. I know he's from Europe. He had a UK accent, but he's like young. He's still going to college, and he was getting endorsements from what'd you call it? Damn, Sense.
Oh,
he was on Sense.
Eastwood Donzo.
Oh yeah, Eastwood Donzo.
Yeah.
See that now that name clicked because that's a good name.
See, that's
too.
also a good narrative.
Yeah, his story is pretty dope.
Yeah.
So like, I think that's pretty cool that you say narrative is the first thing.
Yeah,
and then of course.
And if you look at his clothing, it's not revolutionary, but I like the narrative, so I'm gonna buy. Like, I mean, you know, that's like the biggest issue, right? People start. I'm sure you've had people that approach you or whatever, or even as friends of friends, you have people that make clothing brand names, and it'll be like Super Hype Club, and it'll be like a BOGO, right? And you're like, dog, what? Like, what is it? First of all, you copying, and then second, like, there's no story. You're just making this because you want to make money, right? Or the hustle concept. You ever seen those hustle brands?
Yes.
Hustle harder. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it's like, okay, wait, so you want me to hustle, or you know that you understand that I hustle. You want to make a clothing brand that supports that I hustle, but yet I'm paying you to support your hustle. So what? So I'm buying into the wrong narrative, right? That's not a narrative, in fact.
Keezy, let me ask you this: do you think that's an age thing? Like, you know, because do you think
hustle
like,
hard?
well, no, just everything you're talking about. Like, you think like 16-year-old kids? No offense, please support. But do you think like the younger end really care about the context behind the meaning behind some of these brands, or it's just about buying the hype?
I think at first they don't, because at first I didn't.
Right.
I got into Echo because everyone at school was wearing Echo.
Sure.
Right. And then later on, you get into sneakers and Jordans. I didn't really know. I just knew that Jordans were dope. And I would see them online on Google Images. I'm like, I can't afford this shit, but it's so sick. Like, where do you get this? Right? And then getting older, and then you do more homework on it, and then you get more, you know, whatever. But everybody starts out as like a, you know, as a newbie. You don't know. There's no, how can you know?
I appreciate
how
that.
How can you know?
Yeah.
Right?
Talking about Evisu, man. I've heard of the brand. Even back in 2005, 2006, around that.
Yeah.
I never really messed with it. I don't know why, but I started doing some research after because your content, and talk to me about that. Like, why you gravitated so deeply.
In 2005, 2006, Evisus were treated as like the Ferrari of denim. Straight up. Like, if you had even if you just had the little logo, people know it's like, oh, those are the, you know what I mean? It's different now. It's not the same. You got Levi's on, I got Evisus. This from Japan, you can't get this, right? But I think that's what tied me into it. But then there's another brand that has a crazy narrative to it. And then also, since living here in the US, not even just the Bay, you can't, from the 2000s up until maybe 2012-ish area, it was just hard to get. You couldn't get it. As someone that I really wanted to buy into it, even though it died, no one cared about it, no one bought it anymore. I'm like, man, I still want to buy this, but I can't buy it. Right? So through all those years, I still was trying my best to buy as much as I can through used on eBay and Grailed and Yeah, and then anytime I go to Asia, that's like the first place I go. I'm like, man, it's like reliving my childhood. I'm like, damn, this is all the shit I couldn't buy when I was younger, man. I'm gonna get it now.
Very similar stories. Very similar stories. I mess with what you're saying.
Yeah.
They're kind of baggy though, right? They're not like skinny. They're not slim.
Yeah. Now they make damn near, there's over 15, 16 different cuts that they make, but previously though they're super baggy.
Yeah.
Are they just pants, or they have like shirts?
Oh, they got everything. Yeah. Well, so originally Evisu, the true Japanese Evisu, is a golf brand. The owner, Yamane, used to like to golf, and if you go to Japan, which you should, when you go to Japan, how about that? If you happen to visit, the actual store is like walking into a denim museum. It's like, also they have like golf club sticks in there and stuff, and it's all Evisu'd out. It's like all Evisu logos.
This is their brick and mortar.
That's
is their
their
retail
store in Japan, right? But if you go to their international stores, it's a completely different story. It's kind of more of a cookie cutter Evisu that you're getting. But yeah.
Hey, so talk to me as far as like when it comes to like the consumer experience in Japan. How does it differentiate from the United States? I've always heard that it's more of an experience.
Yeah, just everything Japan does. It's like, imagine like the Japanese are like the German of the Asians, right? When they make products. No, maybe not necessarily other cultural
like that,
things,
right?
but when you make products, like when you make something from like Italy or Germany, it's going to be like A1, right? Or maybe not in today's times. I don't know, but when you talk about Japan, damn near every product they make, it could be the smallest little thing and it'll be packaged, you'd be like, you didn't even need to package it like this. Like, why is it like this? It's so good, in that aspect. So yeah, that's why it's better, period. And culturally, they're very neat and orderly, right? I mean, you've been there.
Yeah.
Right? Even when you take the escalators, everybody knows to stand on one side. Like, if you do that in the U.S., what am I saying? Do that? Nobody does that in the U.S.
Nah.
It just doesn't happen.
Right.
Have you been to the KITH store?
They
got one in New York. They got one in LA.
Yeah.
I think they got one in Tokyo.
Yeah, I went to that one.
You did?
Yeah, the ice cream store. I didn't buy any ice cream, but yeah, it was cool.
Treats.
Yeah, the treats.
It's kind of a cool idea what Ronnie did.
Yeah, it is pretty tight.
So basically, Niall, KITH is a brand, right? It's a clothing brand.
KITH?
KITH, KITH.
Okay.
And the founder's name is Ronnie Feig, and I get what he's doing. It's a cool idea. He opened this KITH Treats bar. Basically, it's just serving ice cream. Okay. It's like desserts to elevate your shopping experience. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But this guy sells merch now. He's building. It's another revenue stream for him. He's a smart dude. But I like Ronnie because everything he posts, like he'll post stuff that he like his favorite movies, from The Bronx Tale to like Goodfellas. He posts things that it's like, man, this guy is me. If I was successful, I would be him. Wow. I'd want to be him. You know what I mean? Like I think going back to the whole context and like emotionally connecting with something, I emotionally connect with that brand, and I like his experience, man. I mean, I know all the clothes aren't dope, but I like his clothes. I think it's good quality. I would love your thoughts on this. Good quality. I like the fact that most of it's clean.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll say about that. Thoughts?
It's
like I'll go on to say that I think it's really hard because I have a lot of friends that own like stores, like just retail outlets in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I see the grind. It's really hard for a brand. It's one thing because a lot of retail outlets have to carry other people's brands to stay afloat, but to have your own brand, standalone brand. I'm talking about KITH or whoever, you know what I mean? Bape, for them to have a standalone brand and be successful and people with you just for that brand, very rare. True?
Yeah, very true.
Very hard.
Yeah. I mean, it's got its cult. KITH has its cult following. I've never bought anything KITH though. I don't
really?
know. No, I've never seen anything that I've liked.
I thought you'd be, because before we started the podcast, I thought you'd be a heavy consumer because you're like, super clean, right?
Yeah.
Like super, it seems like pretty simplistic when it comes to things.
I don't know. Yeah, I just never. I've been to a lot of the stores, and I've just never seen anything where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this right now. So, watch me say that. Right, next year I'm buying a whole bunch of it. It's a living contradiction,
But in your, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, I'm a sponge right now. Honestly.
No, it's cool, man.
You know what? Actually, I do have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I think about the Bay Area, I think about when the Vans song came out.
Oh, the Pack.
Yo, the Pack was like my first. Yo, honestly, the Pack is the reason why I started
wearing
rap.
Vans. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Facts. I started. It was ninth grade, bro. I started writing because I've always written poetry. Growing up as a kid. Oh, but like when it came to like rap, kind of like doing it like in a 4-bar, like with some beats.
Yeah.
You know, it was from the pack, like the way they're. I just remember right now. I remember I got LRG clothes. LRG was like my shit back then, bro.
That was big,
dude. I know, bro. It was 9th grade. LRG was stupid.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I don't smoke weed, but like everyone who was doing it smoke weed. Like, why are you wearing LRG? You don't smoke weed. I'm like, I just love LRG, and I love the pack, and I know that they were like repping that.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, I just think of the Vans, and I just remember thinking back, like no one was wearing Vans until that song came out.
Nope.
And anyway, I just think about how crazy, how much hip hop like has contributed to these, you know,
the narrative.
These these designers, and you know, how much it lifted up. Now Vans are like $50 shoes and all this, and I think it's because still that song like popped it off.
Played a part, yeah.
It's crazy, man.
I mean, that's like a product of the environment, right? I mean, a lot of people from Cali wear Vans.
That's true.
No matter what race, right? If you're in New York and wore Vans back then, they'd be like, dog, what are you doing?
Air Force Ones and Tims all day. Yeah.
Uptowns and Tims, yeah, exactly.
Right.
But like, you know, in Cali, you got so many mixed. LA and the Bay, you have so many mixed, and maybe even Arizona at this point is so stretched out to the West Coast.
Arizona for sure.
Right. I mean, it's a very mixed ethnicity. So people kind of just, the dressing style is not specific to a race. You know. Right. So
speaking of the brand thing, what are you messing with right now? Like currently, like current brands. Is there anything that you're on right now that you think deserves some recognition? Amy, is it Amy ALD? Amy Leondori? You like them?
Like current brands?
Like, I mean, obviously Evisu back in 2005, 2006, like you were saying, Babe's been around forever. Yeah. So I was just curious.
Yeah. Do you guys remember Red Monkey?
Heard of him.
Yes.
Red Monkey jeans?
I don't know.
It was the same era as Evisu, and Red Monkey jeans was like, it was really baggy pants with like these really huge pockets, and they would always embroider something on them. It sometimes would be kind of a provocative thing, but but they're dope pants though. It was they're still very expensive too. They're like 400 something.
Wow.
Smackaroons, you know.
Wow. Yeah. That's the whole thing for me, is like the cost of some of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like even if something's dope, I just have for me, I guess I have an issue paying for a lot of money for one article of clothing, just because it's like, at the end of the day, it's a piece of clothing. That's how I've always been though. So I have like a limitation. When I see Hypebeasts, you know, when I moved here, I was telling you off camera, like, I've never seen so many Hypebeasts in my life. Like, Niall, like, you know, the people that wear, like, the Bape, the Supreme all over their body?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's the SneakerCon starter pack.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so.
SneakerCon?
Yeah. You been to SneakerCon?
No, I have
not.
have.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Though. Like, in almost every year it changes. Well, every 2 years it changes when you go to SneakerCons. But, like, 80% of the kids in there and the adults kind of wear something similar. Like 2017, it was like the Supreme Fanny, Supreme Bogo, and it'll be like Bape Shark shorts or something like that with like Jordan 1s.
He's got it, dude.
And a Supreme 5 panel, you know.
I mean, I don't want to.
It's changed. I don't know what it is now. I mean, COVID, right? But yeah.
Any comments on that? Like just on Hypebeasts in general? Again, not knocking anyone. I'm just curious. Like,
I think it's just really interesting that the stuff that I got, you know, people that were in the 2000s that got involved with like Nike Talk and bought into Dunks and Babesas back then, before Hypebeast was like a thing. Hypebeast was a derogatory form or a word. Now it's, you can call someone a Hypebeast and be like, yeah, I am a Hypebeast.
Yeah, it's getting them shine, really.
Right,
yeah,
you're right. I remember
Hypebeast
being I remember that wasn't too long ago. It was like 2012. It was considered like, damn, Hypebeast. Yeah. Something like that. Now it's like,
no one gives it anymore.
Right.
Yeah, people own up to it. In fact, which is, you know, it is what it is.
Right, right. I mean,
but all those brands that I grew up on back then that I got made fun of for wearing, because it wasn't streetwear was not on this platform. Now people, every celebrity wears streetwear. What celebrity doesn't wear streetwear now?
He's right about that.
It was looked down upon in the 2000s. Celebrities wore suits back then,
right?
Or some. I don't know what the fuck they wore.
Right.
What did they wear?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
The analogy would be like kind of like skating. I remember back in the day, skating, we were looked upon as like
ostracized.
Absolutely.
Idiots.
And now?
Dumbasses.
Now y'all popping.
Yeah. It's commercial.
Mainstream, bro.
After the X Games shit, and then, I don't even know if X Games still around, but and then Lil Wayne started skateboarding.
Yeah.
Right? And you got
Bieber,
all this,
Justin Bieber.
It's on every damn commercial.
Right.
You know, anyways, yeah. It's like, it's on this different... You know,
I mean, I just think about historically with hip hop.
Exactly.
I mean, when hip hop popped off, you know, People were talking crap about it. People,
Now you got Billie Eilish.
now you got everybody, right? You know what I'm saying?
What?
Billie
What?
Eilish taking the swag of
Trap.
hip hop,
Yeah.
and then, yeah.
Yeah. It's a mess. It's a mess that can't be solved.
It's a mess.
And at that point, it's so evolved that you can't. What are you gonna do? You just
can't
either
do anything about
participate
it.
or you be an elitist.
Right.
Oh, we shouldn't be
Yeah.
promoting this.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shut your ass up. Yeah,
Let's
Grow
pivot
up.
real quick, man. Let's talk about Kanye, dude. So the other day he announced his run for the presidency.
Yeah.
So that's big news. And then the week prior he announced. I got to get your thoughts on the Gap thing. Are you gonna buy the clothes?
I'll look at it.
Niall is not. He made that clear in the last podcast. I'm indifferent. I have to wait and kind of gauge it because I always want to give things a chance. It's
Yeah.
gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
People are speculating he's gonna have his own Yeezy Gap stores like in the next 5 years.
Well, yeah. I mean, a 10-year contract.
No. His own Yeezy Gap stores. Right now they're saying that the clothes will be carried inside the store, right?
Yeah.
It's all hypothetical. But then
Yeah.
his own. Can you imagine? Like you're gonna go on Haight Street and you're gonna see Yeezy Gap.
I can imagine it. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's
Look,
crazy.
Kanye is politically and non-politically as an artist, he is. Yeah, no, he is. He is somebody that he'll tell you he's gonna do something, and he just does it, man. And and whether you think it's right or not, right? And most of the time, people don't catch on to what he's doing till 3-4 years later.
You make a point there.
Clothing wise,
Yeah.
sound wise, music wise, maybe not as much politically, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I
Damn
think
near
about
everything.
Yeezus. I remember Yeezus was definitely ahead of its time when it dropped. People were
Bruh,
crapping on. I enjoyed Yeezus.
College
actually,
Dropout.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
pink polo. He wore a pink polo. That was during a time when people were wearing the Dipset.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bandanas, right?
Yeah.
Big old like American flag. Like, come on. Like, he pulled up in a pink polo that was fitted.
Yeah. I think musically, fashion wise, Kanye is definitely like brilliant in that way. So I guess
Absolutely.
my only thing is like how like he views or like politically how he, wants to access capital. I don't agree with,
Right.
and I just think like him running for president, obviously he knows he's not going to win, but it will help his sales at the Gap. The Gap deal is going to help his sales 100%.
I'm not quite sure that he's not aware that he's not going to win. I can't say that.
I actually think he might win.
I don't think so.
What?
Well, let me ask you this question. Did you think Trump was going to win?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no,
I do.
I didn't think he was
The
going to win.
first time he
but
ran?
No.
See, that's what I'm saying. This is the first time Kanye is running.
Is Kanye running as a Republican?
I have no idea what he's running
Keezy.
for. I have no idea what he's running for.
America is made up, guys. Tell me if I'm wrong, but America is made up of not all tastemakers and influencers, right?
I understand.
It's mainly made up of middle America. I'm saying it without saying it. You want me to say it?
For sure.
White.
Yeah.
White.
Of course.
Right? Okay, so that's, 70, 80% of it, right? So you think they're going to vote for Kanye West?
Do you think
No.
a majority of Kanye's consumers are black?
No.
What do you think they are?
I think they come from all...
I think most
okay,
white kids now.
hold on. But they're mainly
not
on
now.
the...
Not now. Been that way.
For sure.
Wait, hold
At
on.
least the
all
past
major
10 years.
artists, all major rap artists, their consumer base, 80% of it is white.
Right.
Straight up.
Right.
Probably, you got to be 18 to vote, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're 18 to 30, bro. Majority of them, I'm going to call... They're younger. So it's going to take all of them to come out because it's a numbers game, right? So you're not going to beat... You're not going to win Alabama. You're not going to win the southern states. You're not going to win middle America. This is... And to me, it's pretty common, right? I mean, this is pretty easy to grasp, right? Like, it's going to have to take every single young person to go in there and actually care that much.
Right. And I think the thing is,
No?
for Trump, when we think about Trump, like, oh, we didn't think Trump was going to win. Trump has much more money than Kanye. I mean, he has
Well,
way
Trump is
more
not
money.
a billionaire, though. He never was. Kanye is a billionaire.
Well,
now.
Niall doesn't think Kanye's a
I don't think
billionaire.
Kanye's a billionaire.
I think he is.
I don't think so, man. I mean, if that was the case, like, why is he teaming up with Gap? Like, I feel like a lot of these people, a lot of these rappers, they just become like promoters on some sense. I think about P. Diddy. He's promoting
Niall.
Ciroc. Like, they should be able to
Wait, hold
have-
on. Why do you think Kanye teamed up with Adidas?
Niall, you said this in the last podcast.
Adidas was dying.
Well, it was dying, but also you said this. You said because he's narcissistic and he wants to get his. I said because he said in past interviews he wants to get his brand literally everywhere. He wants everyone to wear his shoes, everyone to wear his brand. Am I wrong?
Right. Well, I just think about what we talked about with like a brand that makes their own shit, right? Like they have their own factories, all that stuff. I just feel like if he is a billionaire, why can't he make that move?
Himself?
So like, okay, so it's like,
He don't want to invest his own money, man.
it's like if you're a restaurant owner, I guess, right? Or if you want to start a restaurant,
Right.
and you have the capital, but yet there's a restaurant business out there that isn't necessarily doing as hot, okay, aka Gap, not doing so great,
Yeah.
Okay.
and has all the factories, has everything set up, has the tailors, right, or for restaurant purposes, has the chefs, has the whatever you need, all the tools that you need to make what you want to make, but yet it still has the name attached to it, and you're gonna get paid. You don't have to spend any money. You're gonna get paid. I don't know how much they're paying him, by the way, but you're gonna get paid
Right.
to do it
Right.
during the process.
Makes a point.
And also, Gap is an even playing field. Fuck, where's Gap? Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Who the fuck wears Gap? Nobody wears Gap,
Nah.
right? Because it's dying.
So you're saying
as a retail space, Gap is dying.
right? So this is like a reset to zero. Is that what you mean?
Exactly. And also, Gap has its image of Gap is what? It's like moms that buy, kids their clothing for school. Maybe, dads go in there and buy some shit. But recent times, the past 3-4 years, it got a little trendy. I don't know who was on the design board. And then it just kind of, it is what it is. Now you got Kanye jumping on board. No different than what he did with Adidas. Adidas was going to die. I swear to God. Adidas actually is still fucking up right now.
Yeah. Aside from Yeezys, yeah.
Exactly. If Yeezy wasn't on Adidas, I'm sorry. If Yeezy, Pharrell, and who else? There's one other person. Beyonce was a flop. Kylie was a flop. Those are billionaire. Like, bruh.
The NMDs had a wave, big wave. Ultra Boost had a wave.
You hear their word "had"?
Okay. I was part of that wave. So I was part of that wave.
I mean, I can't lie. I was too. I bought like one NMD and that was it. But I mean, I understand the movement that was behind it and whatever. But they f***ed it up.
Well, how could they have not f***ed it up? I mean, nothing lasts forever, dude. I mean, just fashion. Like, do you
You're
get
gonna
what I'm
tell me
saying?
that Jordan 1s aren't gonna last forever? You know how iconic.
It's iconic.
You know how iconic. NMD is not an iconic shoe.
Okay, that's true.
What is that?
Let me show you.
MMD, is that a
You're gonna recognize what
NMD
you
is a
do.
style.
Something about
It's
Kylie?
right behind you, bro. I got many NMDs.
It's not.
NMDs, NMDs, R1s, R2.
Those are Kylie's?
This,
No.
bro. This. Tell me you don't recognize that shoe.
I do.
Exactly. That's
I know
an
a bunch
NMD.
of- okay.
How many people wear NMDs anymore?
Everyone.
Anymore?
I know a lot of girls who rep that.
Well,
Yeah, because I got it at the outlet. But you know what I'm
I
saying.
think a general consumer key. Hold on.
I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just telling you like it is.
Depends who you're talking to. You
Yeah.
are I call you a tastemaker to the nth degree. Probably one of the most impressive I've ever seen. But like a general person, I think still will buy. And here's the thing.
Yes, general consumer. Yes, you're right.
Right.
Yes.
Ultra Boost, NMDs.
Absolutely.
So it kind of helped. I mean, for exposure, look, it all goes back to Kanye. I think he helped with exposure. Bottom line.
That's I get that. But I still want to talk about power. Now, I'm going to keep it
Respect.
real. Kanye West might be a billionaire with the help of Kim Kardashian. But I do know people like Trump, people like Joe Biden, they have power. They have old money. Like I always talked about this in my past episodes about, Kanye West is a black American. He's ADOS. It's called American Descendants of Slavery. He's descendant of slavery in America. Meaning, we don't have generational wealth. People like Trump, people like Joe Biden, people like Clinton, they got old money. They have old money. This is the money that Kanye West have is its income. What Trump had, he had old money. He might not be a billionaire. I think he's a billionaire, if anything. Regardless, he has social capital, meaning so when they start doing promotion ads for to get people to garner votes, Trump is going to have access to that. Joe Biden is going to have access to that. I don't know if Kanye's going to have access to that. To me, like for him to have that kind of level, he would have had to already be what that guy in Japan who was doing the ice creams or whatever. Like he would already need to have some kind of factory, not doing, partnerships with people, but like already have an establishment. And
I understand.
So I'm just saying, I know what is called the decadent veil. A lot of rappers that, like Jay-Z, P. Diddy, they, display their richness, right? Which they are rich, but there's a difference between rich and wealth. And I do know that they're not as wealthy as what we think they are, because I just know historically of my people.
A lot of the time, though, when people run for president, they don't spend all of their own money, bro. Right.
That's true.
I'm not trying to prove you wrong at all.
No.
Because it's about sponsorships and endorsements and linking. It's politicking, right? You
Right.
link with this person. Oh, you're a billionaire. Oh,
you're
hey,
lobbying
you're
for
on my
money from
side?
others, right?
Okay, well, can we, help push this campaign, whatever.
Right.
So maybe on that aspect, Kanye might not have the connections. I get that on the political side because he's more of the, I guess, influence, whatever you want to call it, right? Sneakers, fashion, music, whatever, right? So maybe he might not have those connections. But again, he's also a guy that will prove you wrong. And 3-4 years later, you'd be like, well,
Well, I want to find out.
I didn't.
could be that guy,
Look,
okay.
I just want people to know my vote is for sale. So what that means is I want to know his policies.
Stimulus.
My vote is for sale. So, I'm going to keep it real. I'm a big advocate for, as you guys know, reparations
right.
and a black agenda to close the racial wealth gap. I want to know if Kanye West supports that. I want to know if he supports that. I want to know if Joe Biden supports that. I already know Trump don't support that. So until I know, my vote is for sale. So it's very possible Kanye West might get my vote. But I got to know his policies. I'm not going to be a fanboy and just vote for anyone just because they're Democrat or because they're so-and-so. Like, I want to know how they're going to impact for me. I think voting should be an exchange, not a gift. That's what I believe. So that'll be my
No, it makes sense. Are you guys indulge yourself into conspiracies?
It depends. What kind of conspiracies? I believe in a fireworks conspiracy.
Talk to us. Go ahead.
No, you go actually. But.
Well, I'm not going to share the conspiracy, but I've melted my brain way too much with conspiracies at this point, especially with the presidency and all the people that are in power right now for Congress and all this other type of shit. That I don't know what to believe. I'll share some links with you guys later. Maybe you can put it on the podcast.
That's why I don't follow any conspiracy theories, but share with us one.
Maybe one, yeah.
How about one?
I mean, the fact that okay, so like, I don't want to get too deep into it because then now this is a political podcast now, right? The KKK was started from Democrats.
Okay.
And everybody that's a POC wants to be a Democrat.
Okay.
And in fact, the current people in power, there's factual information on this shit. Okay, I sound like a conspiracy theorist at this point. Already.
No, you're good.
But there's already facts that the people that are in power that are Democrats are part of the KKK and have been endorsed by the KKK.
You know what? I've heard that, but I never.
There's factual information.
That's not a conspiracy. That's true.
They have an actual clip of who is it? Joe Biden, and he's talking at his rally, whatever the he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. And on the back, there's a guy, just so happens to be standing there with a chain that is like this big of the KKK symbol. So you can't like.
Okay, well,
what you mean?
That's not a conspiracy. That's real. That's truth. Like, there was a political change. Like, okay, when Lincoln was in, he was a Republican, right? But their ideals are different from what they are now. There was like a legit switch. But regardless, like off top, there's KKK members and Democrats, or there's Democrats who have received money from lobbyists that are part of the KKK.
Yes, they're like high-ranking
on Democrat side and Republican side. So I do know, like, when it comes to power, and I don't say this lightly. I talk about like white supremacy. It's on both. It's two sides of the same coin. So Democrat, Republican. You just gotta look at it like that. And for me, like as a black person, not like just as not just a POC, but like a black person, I see that because I just know, okay, what policies did these Democrats put in? I think about Clinton and Joe Biden. He put in the crime bill, which vastly put black people in prisons. So a lot of these Democrats.
Joe Biden is not on your side. I'm gonna say that.
Well, that's a fact. I know that. That's why I'm like my vote.
Joe Biden a weirdo. I just say that. Don't put that on wax. He a weirdo and he a pedophile. Straight up.
So here's my question then.
I'm sorry. You seen them clips, right?
I've seen it. Look, I know it. I know
sorry,
it.
Not sorry. You
No.
pedophile.
I'm
Nasty ass old man.
I'm not endorsing that man for sure.
So my question is, then, what's the resolution then? For me, I just look for the solutions or the possible solutions. Are there any?
Each.
Like, what do you suggest? Like, what?
As far as voting,
Yeah, and also next steps. After everything you just said, because we're not going to go too deep, but I think we get the big picture.
well, I mean, a lot of these people that are in power, they were in power because we put them in power. We voted these people in. I mean, it's like,
Well, you and I didn't, but you're saying the majority did.
I mean, well, I did. I mean, I voted for Obama. You know what I mean?
Got it,
And the chain keeps going. And I voted for Hillary Clinton. That chain keeps going in. We got to vote for people based on policies. We can't just vote for people whether they're blue or red. And I mean that for Democrats and Republicans, people shouldn't vote for Trump just because he's brash. What is he supporting? The most poor, white people that are voted for Trump, his policies don't support them.
Yeah.
Like, they don't impact their lives. He supports rich white people.
Right.
Does tax
he supports
cuts-
himself.
Right, he
And all
supports
his cronies.
he
I get it.
supports his people. So, and the Democrats, they don't do too much different than what Republicans are doing now. But I'm just saying, we need to vote based on policy. So man, he's right. I didn't want to turn this to a political podcast.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's cool.
But
That's cool.
we definitely got to vote like based on policy. So, if I don't have a president who's going to vote for policies that I agree with, I'm voting down ballot, which means that you vote for your state and local initiatives, because there are things that impact your community that you need to vote for, you need to support. But when it comes to president, you leave blank or you support somebody else. Some people are writing in names. I'm writing in reparations. I'm writing in ADOS. Because what that would do, that sends a message so that when the Democrats, if they lose, they need to know, man, we got to have a candidate in there that's going to support based on policies and not just because we put him there.
To take that even further, if we were to just talk about, I mean, all communities need to be treated how that community is. I can't say differently, but like it is kind of differently, right? The black community needs to be treated differently. The Asian community needs to be treated differently. But more importantly, the black community, because black community doesn't have generational wealth, right? You go to Chinatown, you see Chinese banks. Yeah. Right. You see Chinese jewelry stores. You see Chinese everything, insurance. When you go to the black community, you don't see that.
Great point.
Right. When you go to the Hispanic community, you don't see that. So if you take not only the local vote, you need to go even further. There needs to be some kind of unified part for the black community, Latin community, whatever, that is unified in a way where you can eventually have those things.
Right.
And then you can say F you, right? Because if the government tries to come in and infiltrate or whatever, you can't. This is our community.
Done,
yeah.
What you do, what you mean. That's why you talk about Chinatown. They're the last people to get gentrified.
Right.
Why? They own the land.
Right. That's facts. They have
old Chinese man like,
power.
no, you're not coming here.
Just like
you're
that.
Not, who are you?
I will say this though. Now, I mean, I think that people are trying. I think that there's definite, like, the silver lining to this is that I see people supporting black-owned businesses and trying to build, kind of attesting to what you're saying, definitely more than ever. And I know that it's maybe a little reactive based off the situation the country's in right now, but hey, man, you got to start somewhere, right?
No, yeah, there's definitely people. There's definitely good people, like you guys that, get it, understand, support black businesses. That's great. And I just think, okay, that's on, just first level. The next level would be politically, so that we can have our own economic power, because things that happen to us, we wouldn't have to worry about, like, we would have a black American town. We would have all those things, but like white America and the politicians that are in there, Democrat and Republican, made that impossible for us. So now that's why reparations, closing the racial wealth gap, which is huge.
Wait, I know the time's running out, but just stop watching the news. Okay.
Man, we actually ended up talking about politics more than the streetwear. I'm super sorry, bro.
Hey, the political climate, how can you not?
Right.
That's facts.
Right? I mean, it's like, even if you're not a political person, at this point you have to be. I'm not a political person at all.
Well, I mean,
and
I think, but you're definitely, and I appreciate the passion for what the situation the country's in right now.
Yeah, it's good to be politically aware.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of like being a political person, like, it's good to be politically aware, because people are just going to pull the rug underneath us. I mean, that's so, we're heading that direction if we don't understand that. If people did their homework on Joe Biden, all that, like, we'd be like, all right, we need to, what the hell's going on? I'm
sending y'all some links later.
Please.
I'm sending y'all some
I probably
links.
already seen the videos, but as far as the KKK, I already know about that. Yeah, I know. You watch freaking Young Pharaoh?
Yeah, I watch Young Pharaoh. I don't watch all of it.
Right,
but
right,
I watch it. Hell
Wow. Yeah, he's
when did he not
back?
back up anything that he says, though? receipts.
Right. No.
Receipts.
Yeah, those dudes definitely, they go hard.
Crazy.
He exposed somebody too recently.
He exposed everybody.
Yeah. Anyway, he'll send him to you.
I was gonna ask you.
I've heard Young Pharaoh like back in like 2013.
Oh,
so,
you should see, have you seen his recent?
I have not. To be honest.
Boy, that's what I'm saying. You get too deep into it. It's like you don't know what to believe.
What do you do, by the way? I never asked you. Like, is the whole like influencer thing? Is that your full time gig or what?
I wish. No, I work for my father's business.
Okay.
He does metal fabricating for architectural metal fabricating for like corporate interior businesses.
Dope.
So we do like 3D signage. So if you need something that says like your name, we do all that kind of stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Dope.
That's great.
Yeah. No.
Oh man,
we'll
Justin doesn't have a mic, man.
It's all
I just thought about that, man. Like,
I'm cool.
Shout out to
Man,
Justin,
shout out
man.
to
We
Justo, man.
gotta get this fourth mic.
he had to sacrifice his mic, man.
In an ideal world,
My voice.
in an ideal world, what would you want to do? Full time gig.
This.
This.
Yeah.
Just make.
And start a brand. Yeah.
You have a brand.
Yeah,
Pretty
which
big
is
brand.
but like an actual like clothing brand. So I definitely want to do that. And I'm starting it. It's on its way so far, but we'll see what happens.
I think Keezy has a great hook. It ain't easy being Keezy. I love that. I paid it. He opens up his all his content with it ain't easy being Keezy. It's cool.
It is cool,
Yeah.
man. It's
That's
Yeah.
a t-shirt right there.
For me,
Yep.
it's about a hook.
Yeah,
What are the
Easy.
signs of a successful brand based off all your experience?
Streetwear brand? Or
Clothing
just-
brand, yeah.
Uh,
Material, the fit, the logo, all the, but like I'll give you some context. Like the hundreds, I don't wear too much hundreds now, but when I was younger, I did.
Yeah.
And it was that atom bomb.
Yeah.
That just really caught my
the
eye.
iconic Atom Bomb.
Right now,
Yeah.
not so much. No offense, but and also again his story.
Yeah.
All his blogs and all his content. I was like, man, I mess with this guy. The
Yeah.
whole like, I think he used to be a skater, or it just really connected with me. But yeah, thoughts on
It
that?
all definitely goes all back to narrative. Yeah. If your narrative is right, and okay, so there's a balance, right? So the ultimate brand is really good narrative and amazing product. Those two combinations, how can you lose, right? It's like, holy shit, I like what I'm actually buying, and I like the where this came from. Amazing, right? But if you let's just say your narrative sucks, then your product better be amazing.
Now, when you say great product, can you be specific? Are you talking about the quality of the T-shirt, or are you talking about the logo? How dope the logo is, or the design?
The quality of the garment.
Okay, so explain this to me. Do you know who Joe Freshgoods is?
Yes.
Okay, so Joe
I don't know a lot about him, but yes.
Okay, so dude out of Chicago, used to work at this store called Leaders 1354. He just makes T-shirts.
Yeah.
And he says it multiple times on podcasts. He did no cut and sew. Most people go into cut and sew.
Yeah.
Just T-shirts.
Yeah.
Just simple T-shirts.
Yeah.
Very successful.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
There's a market for everything. I mean, how does the San Jose flea market stay open? Because the consumers that I talk to probably don't go there, right? We're not shopping there. We shop online and right? But there's a market for that still, right? And there's still, as much as we made fun of the hustle hard guys, there's still a market.
Oh, please, I hope not.
oh yeah.
I hope not.
No, there still is.
Bro.
Man,
those like
there
those
still is.
college, white kids.
And there's some shirts that be like entrepreneur, and it's like, okay, I mean, anyways, like, but there's a market. There still is a market for that, and it exists, right? Because everybody doesn't dress the same.
All right.
That's a good point.
Out of 100 people, you're gonna get 20 of them that dress like this.
That is a
15
good
of them,
point.
5 or 6 people that dress like this, right?
And someone's gonna think the hustle hard shirt is dope.
exactly.
Oh, for sure.
And not only
Somebody
that,
18, 19 years old.
Sometimes they buy it because it's their homie. Like,
Yeah.
That's facts.
Oh, I'll support. Yeah, here's $30.
So when you get messages in your DMs, saying, "Hey man, love your stuff. Could you rock this T-shirt?" What do you say? What do you do?
I don't reply if I don't like it.
Okay.
All right.
I think that's fair, man. Like in the beginning, I replied and I felt bad if I didn't, and at this point.
Keezy, how about this? Have you ever had someone throw at you, "Man, but you got to support local, bro. You're from the Bay. It's a Bay Area brand." What do you say? Because for me, this is just my personal opinions. I'm gonna support a brand, Chicago, Phoenix, DC, Bay Area. I have to like the brand. I can like you,
Yeah.
but you are separate from the brand. I can't buy
Yeah.
a T-shirt that's cheesy as on a Gildan shirt.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
If they ask me point blank, I'm gonna be like, well, send me what you have and I'll look at it. And if I don't like it, I don't want to waste your product. You know.
It's
But
professional.
if I like it, then we could do something. But I mean, there's so many of those. Oh my god.
I know, because I'll get maybe like a message here and there, like very rarely. I can only imagine this guy probably gets hit up a lot based off his content. Another brand that I think is super slept on here in the Bay. I've been a big fan of theirs.
Wait, let me guess. Stay Winning?
No.
Or not Stay Winning. I'm sorry. Trillist?
No.
Okay.
Heard of them? Keep going.
Oh, I'm done.
I think you're gonna no. Okay, no. I'm gonna give you a clue. Grown man streetwear.
Grown man streetwear.
Okay, one more clue. Fillmore.
Oh wait.
You know.
With Big Rich, and wait.
G-Eazy.
Oh, I don't know.
I didn't wear it because of G-Eazy. I've been on them for years.
What is this? What is it?
Brooklyn Circus, BKC.
I actually never heard of it.
Dude, it's developed in San Francisco originally. Incredible brand. Check them out. They're incredible.
Are they from Brooklyn?
Yeah. Well, started in the Bay. I think he moved to New York.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the original story.
Yeah, send it to me and I'll check it out.
Yeah. You know what's weird is that the store, they have a brick and mortar here in Fillmore, and they closed down. I think not
near Undefeated.
No.
Oh.
Not near Undefeated. Just Fillmore. I don't know the specific area.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, grown man streetwear, super good cuts, just very simple. I think you'd appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'll
check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Shout out to Brooklyn Circus. Shout out to Joe Freshgoods too, man. That stuff is really dope. Going back because I think his context, his story is really good.
Yeah, I don't know if logo. I don't think
logo wear now.
No, Well, hold on. Like the idea behind logo wear, it's in today's times. I don't think a logo really matters that much.
Like when you say that, what do you mean? You mean like
your brand does not have to live off your logo. In fact, sometimes that's a plague, right? In Bobby Hundreds, you brought up the Hundreds, right? So have you read his book?
No.
You would love it. So This Is Not a T-Shirt, and he has a whole chapter on the atom bomb and how he hated the atom bomb and how it was a fucking he one day he was like, well, the Hundreds doesn't have a logo, right? We don't have a mascot. And he drew up the atom bomb and made some stickers. And these kids, which were his followers, stuck them all over the city, and it just became this thing.
Wow.
Right? And then he started selling the T-shirts and everything. But as a designer, he was like, I'm sick of the atom bomb. I don't want to put this on my clothes anymore. I want to move on.
But he's still dropping. He just dropped some merch just like less than a month ago.
Right. So it's a hate-love relationship, right? Or it's a love-hate relationship, right? So he through the chapter, if you read it in later on, he definitely grew from it, and he gives his perspective on it. But that was the beginning of it, right? And it's if a brand purely lives on that, current times, you don't really need that. There are brands that are logo-less, right? KITH, for example, some of his stuff
minimal, very minimal.
There's no logos on most of them.
True.
I think, if I'm not wrong.
I like those. Like
minimal. Very minimal.
Yeah.
It's like John Elliott or something, right?
Yeah, dude. Don't get me started, man. John Elliott, I like the cuts, man. Super overpriced. I'm sorry, man. I don't. Here's the thing. I can't wrap my head around.
It's very expensive.
John Elliott, the Virgil Ablohs, those guys of the world. I don't care what it's made out of. It could be made out of gold. I just can't understand how they constitute these ridiculous prices. Maybe you can break it down for me.
Yeah.
Please, because maybe there's a business. Okay.
There is some lying in it for sure, but let's exclude that for now. But if you manufacture anything that is just not in China, straight up, it's going to be expensive. Can you imagine trying to produce, raw denim here in the States?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very expensive. In fact, a majority of the raw denim that is made here in the States is more expensive when you go to the raw, Self Edge. I'm sure maybe you've been there. I don't know. It's in San Francisco.
Store. I haven't been there, no.
Yeah, they sell a whole bunch of like Japanese brands and raw denim and stuff, but the American denim is more because to produce anything in America is expensive.
So are you saying that a lot of these brands, like the Off-Whites and stuff, they're manufactured not in the U.S.,
They're
man.
in Italy.
Oh, they are?
So that's the
Didn't even know that.
Right? Virgil was like, okay, well, 2015 or something, he was like, bro, everybody's using Gildan. I mean, he was guilty of it too. And then all these Gildan brands popped up, right? T-shirt Gildan brands, and everyone's like, yo, I'm not paying, $70 for a Gildan shirt. This is stupid. So he's like, no, f that. I'm going to actually move my manufacturing to Italy. We're going to have the same aesthetic, but we're going to produce everything in Italy. These are the same factories that produce Fendi. These are the same factories that produce Louis Vuitton, stuff like that. Right?
Speaking of Virgil, real quick, do you think he's getting just a lot of hate? Do you think it's deserved? He's getting a lot of hate. You know, he designed that Pop Smoke album, the cover art, and then also
the dude who donated $20.
That
$50.
Yeah, $50.
Jesus.
He's the same guy. He's not. Virgil is Kanye's guy.
Yeah.
Got it.
What are your thoughts? You think it's deserved, or you think that he's just?
I think that the people. So that's cancel culture.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think cancel culture is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And I think that the people that participate fully in cancel culture are just not successful people.
That's fair.
And those people with those opinions, yeah, they're a bunch of fucking nobodies. I'm serious. They're a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah.
It's Twitter.
Yeah.
It's Twitter.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here with this Twitter.
We could have this discussion for like another hour on like
Twitter. You know what's how separate Twitter is from other platforms? Think about that. There's people that strictly use Twitter. They don't use anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know those people, Keezy.
Yeah, I'm part of Twitter. Sometimes it's funny. That's
well, no,
why.
I'm on Twitter, but I just can't imagine.
I'm on Twitter.
Yeah.
But you're not on Twitter 24/7 looking for the next person to cancel.
No.
Can you imagine, bro?
I don't.
Well, it just becomes this snowball effect, right? Where it's like it's a sheep thing, right? Oh, it's like I don't know what was one of the latest things that happened, right? Even politically, right? Politically, and or the whole the Black Lives Matter movement. Oh my God, that wasn't Black Lives Matter. You know what that was? That was cancel culture matters. Holy shit! It was just a bunch of people canceling each other. Hey, you didn't post. You didn't put your black square. Yo, fuck out of here with that shit. Fuck the black square. That doesn't do anything.
I'm so glad you said that, man, because Niall and I were saying the exact same thing.
It doesn't do that. First of all, that was a conspiracy shit, not to get too far into that. But anyway.
Is it? Don't tell me Young Pharrell said some shit about it.
No, I mean, everyone said it. Why would you post a black square during Black Lives Matter? You gonna black out the whole hashtag? So if I search the hashtag, the whole thing's blacked out?
Yeah.
What does a black square do? It doesn't do anything.
I don't think people are thinking that deeply. They just, again, they rode the wave of these two record label execs. You know, they're African American. They started this whole movement, Blackout Tuesday.
Well, how did that get so big? Like,
well, because
no. How did those women all right?
Through the help of artists and celebrities. That's why. Am I wrong?
Well, there's a big part of it too where people jumped on the bandwagon. And now this is personal perspective. I posted the black square initially because what are you supposed to do? Yeah, George Floyd died. Yeah, they stomped on his neck and he suffocated and whatever, right? Yeah, okay. Even if I go to the march, is that going to help another black man to live? Is this black square going to... But I posted it because I was like, I want y'all to know I'm in support of y'all. That was my reasoning behind it. But if you really think about it, that fucked up the whole shit.
That's because people put Black Lives Matter instead of hashtag Blackout Tuesday, and then they conflated Blackout Tuesday with Black Lives Matter.
They weren't thinking.
The whole thing. Look, God damn it, man, we gonna have this goddamn
how much time we got?
Political ass conversation.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying there's a lot. Like I said, that's why I think it should just be like I'm beating on one drum in my political stance on it, but. Like the Black Lives Matter movement, like it's too scattered. People are putting people are throwing statues away. People are getting fired or quitting because they're not black, but they're playing black characters. Like it's not getting to the root of it.
It is the most unorganized movement.
It really. So I like I said, it's gonna fizzle out. People are gonna get bored because it's not getting anything done. People are bringing up Marxism and all this stuff. It's
good intentions, bad execution.
Sure. And I do think people are putting their own agendas in though. Like people are like, I know you die, I know, but I'm putting in my thing. I'm putting in my issues with your Black Lives Matter thing. So there's most people with good intentions, but I think people are using this to get clout too. So
hey, real quick on the rollerblading thing, man. Is that something you still do?
No, I quit.
Bro.
I quit and started the channel.
Niall.
Word.
Yeah.
This dude is like, now were you a professional?
No, that sport is dead. As much as I love y'all, if anyone here is watching that used to roll, I mean, the sport is just, it got ostracized, and you know, it was the competition between skateboarders and rollerbladers, and
really,
it's just a dead sport.
His
it
videos
completely died.
Dude, he's doing stuff off handrails that I can only dream of on a skateboard.
I'm assuming you stopped because also like, I mean, it's wear and tear on your body.
You
right?
said it in a video. You're like, you're sick and tired of getting like hurt. And to paraphrase, I don't want you said something like, but then you got to the roots of why you started doing it, right?
Yeah. Well, so that video was like my last hurrah because I made other videos in the past of skating, and I was like, I love this sport, but it's just it's not alive, you know. Like when I go skate, I skate with one dude, you know. It's like, man, you go to the skate park as a skateboarder, you get to skate with, you meet new people every day.
Yeah.
Right. So big, right? So I'm like, man, this is not really, you know, what I want to do, but I love the sport, so I made that last one, and I'm like, all right, this is the last Raw. It is what it is, and I'm done with this. I got to move on with my life. So.
How about this sneaker streetwear thing then? How do you find that? I mean, is it kind of
overwashed?
Well, I mean, you're doing all the content mainly on your own, yeah?
Yeah, everything's myself. Yeah.
So, do you have like people behind you? Do you have a crew? Like, do you have, you know, you're talking about the whole rollerblading thing.
Yeah.
You know, you only rollerblade with one person, but do you go to events? Do you go to the sneaker shows? Do you go to things like that?
Well, doing something on YouTube is pretty lonely. I mean, you guys got your crew here, right? But if you're like, you know, one man band, it's a lonely game. You're just literally spending hours in front of a computer.
But you have a huge fan base. You got 20,000 fans. So
Yeah.
you think of it as an audience that's watching you whenever you're dropping content. That's how I would see it.
Yeah, but on the personal level, right? I don't have anybody that I can meet up with that is a YouTuber. That's for sure.
In the Bay.
Besides you.
Yeah, but I'm not on your level.
Well, I mean, but even though I'm sure you probably know more than the average person. I mean, you upload, right?
Sneakerhead in the Bay.
Yeah.
I was on him before I even moved here.
Yeah. So, but then that's where it gets tricky, right? I'm not a sneaker channel. Right?
Yeah, well,
he's a sneaker channel.
How would you define your channel for people that are
Streetwear.
Okay.
Yeah.
That encompasses everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. As long as it deals with as long as it deals with streetwear, then it's good.
I really encourage people to check out his channel because it's super informative. You know, you did a jeans review just on like I think it was H&M and Zara jeans. And
you went deep in the videos. It was old.
Oh, bro. Yeah, but I mean, I appreciate it. No, because who doesn't go to the mall and wonders about the differences between the fit, the quality? He does all that. Word. He's like doing the homework for you, bro. Legit.
Word.
So
no, yeah, I was I wound up, you know, I was watching it to like be prepared, you know, for this interview. But then I was like, I kept watching because I'm like learning a bunch of new shit, man. I was like, oh, this is cool because, you know, I mean, I'd like to get more into fashion.
He's gonna help you.
Yeah, no, definitely. Those videos help a ton.
You know what's funny? The starter kit videos, they actually indirectly help people.
Of course. Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, it seems as if I'm making fun of everyone and I'm poking fun at everyone, like, you can't dress. But really, it's actually the majority of the people that watch, they're not even a part of any of those kits. They're just like, tech wear is I kind of do want a hella pockets. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how you, is that how you do it? For sure. Like,
sorry. Because I know you're being serious, but also I can't take it seriously.
Yeah, it's hard to take it serious, but it's a real thing. It's like, even if you look at your analytics, I'm sure, right? 80% of the people that watch they're not people that subscribed. Still to this day is the same for me. Even though there's 20,000 subs, it's not 20,000 people watching. It's not that are subscribed to me. It's new people.
Right.
It's new people, right? That are like, oh, I just found this. This is kind of cool. So, you know.
To end it, man, Bay Area fashion. How do you correlate Bay Area fashion and where music is today? Like, is there even like Bay Area fashion? You know,
I think
something that's staples.
It for sure lost its heyday. You know, but I think majority of cities lost its heyday because everyone's just trying to copy Atlanta. Everybody wants the trap sound. Everyone wants to be melodic. Yeah. Not even now. The past 5 years, everyone wants to be melodic. Sure. The true regurgitation of an artist now is Roddy Ricch. If hella rappers want to be like Roddy Ricch. Right. You know what I mean? Melodic. He can spit. It sounds great.
Right.
It's like an all-around delivered package, and you're just like, Roddy Ricch.
Right.
That's a good point.
Because he is a mix. He's from L.A., but he sound like Thug. He sound like Future. He sound like hella people. Yeah. In one dude.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have no features.
Mm-hmm.
What? Everybody wants to do that, you know. Right. So when it comes to clothing, hip hop, like you said, hip hop and clothing is damn near, they're parallel.
Right.
It's the same thing almost. Like when hip hop progresses or decreases or whatever, it goes along with the clothing too and influence. So everybody follows Roddy. Everybody follows Thug. Everybody follows, like, these are the main people now. Yeah. Been the main people, right? And they all, the minute you see them, what do you got? Oh, I'm gonna wear that too.
Yeah.
Right. So it all goes in line with that. The Bay now doesn't dress like we used to in the 2000s. Thank God.
It makes sense. I'll be honest. Until I watched your videos, I never, because Air Force Ones, you know, in your documentary about the Bay, you talk about that Air Force Ones came from New York. They came from the East Coast.
Thing too. Yeah.
I never knew y'all wore Air Force Ones like that.
Yeah.
Until recently, you notice single everyone wears Air Force white Air Force Ones.
Yeah.
Bro.
Well,
been on that for years.
Yeah, if you think about it though, the Air Force One, it's intrinsically tied to New York, the Uptowns, the all whites.
Yep.
But the shoe is so iconic and so versatile that damn near not every city, a lot of cities in the world have their own narrative for the Air Force One. A lot of cities have their own narrative for the Air Jordan One. Right. So, you know, go figure, right? But if, you know, I had the comments on that video like, nah, bro, it's New York. Shut up. You're not from here.
Is there any brands that you feel are super slept on, whether it's a Bay or anywhere? Slept on brands, favorite brands that you just, aside from the Evisu,
right?
Babestas.
So I have a whole series on my channel called Underappreciated Streetwear Brands.
Okay.
And there's like, at this point, it's probably I named like 30 of them. So maybe go watch that, and then you can pick and choose which one you like. So yeah.
Okay. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
How much time was that? I think that's long enough, huh?
Yeah.
Man, Keezy, I appreciate the conversation. It was awesome talking to you, man.
I appreciate it.
We'll come back with conspiracies.
For sure.
Anytime, bro. Follow the man's channel, man. He is a content creator to the core, whether it's just streetwear. I mean, anything streetwear. God, streetwear. I'd even say all your rollerblading shit, just everything, man. Just anything artistic. Mess with him. Mess with his channel. It's Keezy TV. And thank you for the time, bro. Appreciate you.
For
Yeah,
sure.
man.
Hell yeah.